Hey guys, and welcome back to another Mommy and Me Monday. You already know the vibes. It's Brii Renee, straight from the A. And
I am Miss Renee,
I thought you was gonna steal my line again.
straight from the A.
Lacks originality, you know. No, just one. But if you are new here, you know this is where a safe space where we have dope, meaningful conversations, multicultural conversations between mother and daughter. Not multicultural, multi-generational conversations between mother and daughter and the meaning of the minds. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and you are liking and commenting and just never missing Mommy and Me Monday. You already know. And shout out to everybody that's checking in the comments anyway. We are answering y'all, getting to those questions with the I want to knows and the for the record. So today is a special day because tomorrow is my birthday.
Well, happy birthday. You're going to get 1 year wiser.
You're not really giving me the pizzazz I was looking for.
Because I'm afraid it's going to cost me.
It should cost you. Because I didn't ask to be here.
Well, yeah, but I paid already.
No, you're not done paying.
Ah, yes, I am for now.
You should I need you to come correct.
I am correct.
I want to feel like, I want you to show out. I want you to go above and beyond. I want you to wow me this birthday.
Okay, just wait till tomorrow.
No,
Wait till tomorrow, and I guarantee you will be wild.
no, I want you to pull out all the stops.
I will pull out all the stops tomorrow.
I'm talking about the bells, the whistles.
I'm going to pull out all the bells and the whistles.
You're going to get the moon and
tomorrow.
the stars.
I'm going to get the moon and the stars. Just wait.
I feel like every birthday you should give me gifts like that because this is the day you chose to bring me into this cruel, cruel world.
Well, I did. This is
for your betterment.
This isn't the day I chose. I did choose to bring you here, but God had a lot to do.
But I didn't ask to be here.
Yeah, that's true.
So I need reimbursement for the pain and suffering.
So I got to pay for it every year.
Yeah, every year.
Okay.
Maybe in each year you should match that number of years that I've been alive.
Okay.
With gifts and/or thousands.
I got you.
You know.
I feel you.
You know they say ask and you shall receive. So
okay,
I'm asking.
All right.
Hopefully I receive. We'll keep you updated on that. But with that being said, today I wanted to talk about the pressures of sometimes living under through your parents' footsteps, right? So because you were such this ambitious woman and because you were so smart, so articulate, and you just were so well-rounded. And you are a provider not only for me, but our entire family. I often felt like a weight on me to live up to those footsteps. And I know a lot of parents, I know boys probably more than girls feel that pressure with their dads. But especially when you have parents who are entrepreneurs or parents who have family businesses, there were times where people in the street would say, oh, you should do this or you're going to be doing that because your mom was that, or your family did this, or your mom is a lawyer, so you should be a lawyer, or you running the construction company now, you're like, I want you to come in and take over this business, but I want a different route.
Yeah,
I chase my own dreams.
Absolutely, and I've always encouraged you to chase your own dreams. I think a lot of that weight you put on yourself, not that I put it on you. You probably felt that you needed those expectations because you thought that that's what you should do, and that's not necessarily the case. And I think kids that do that to themselves put an unnecessary burden on themselves. There's no expectations for you to save the world or save the family or anything of that nature.
But you don't feel like if something was to happen to you because you've been holding down our family that it wouldn't fall directly on me because I'm next in line?
No, I think everybody will be able to hold their own down. Now, you got to keep in mind, whatever I do for our family, I do because out of love, but there's no expectation. So I don't think that any pressure, you should feel any pressure because of that. You do what it is you're able to do, and that you're not, you don't worry about it.
Well, that ain't what you used to say when you used to be like, why you want to be a little broke-ass actress?
No,
Why you want to go into the broke-ass media entertainment business? I'm building this multi-million-dollar corporation, and all I wish I had a son to pass it down to. And if I had someone, blah, blah, blah. Where's my mini violin?
Well, every parent would like to think that they're leaving something to their children, and their children would at least take an interest. But I have learned that's not the case, and I've moved on from that. I've accepted that's not the case.
Would you
and,
have
and then I'm also glad now that that's not the case. Excuse me. I'm glad that's not the case.
Would you have? Tell me more about me being right, since you're glad.
No, it's not about you being right. It's about me accepting you for who you are and doing what it is you are doing, because you did take heed to my teaching, and that was chase your dreams, not the dollar, and you decided to chase your passion. I had to realize that my dreams and my passion were not yours, and I'm okay with that.
Do you think that you would feel the same way if I wasn't gaining some sort of success in this industry?
No, well, yeah, I think I would feel the same way, because listen, your success is you're being able to take care of yourself. That's my measure, or that's my ability, my thought pattern in terms of measuring your success. You know, your success is, you know, you figured it out. You made it work for you. You whatever that may be, you know, just so that you're able to take care of yourself.
I remember growing up, you always had an office in our home, and I used to sit in your office and play and pretend to be, I don't know if I was pretending to be a lawyer or pretending to be, I used to stack my papers and be like, I can take my next meeting now. Or like, I used to just pretend that was me playing. And so I was always pretending to be an entrepreneur, and I would ride with you while you were, you know, meeting people or making phone calls and bossing people around like you do now. Just, you know, and that inspired me to be an entrepreneur and instill things like you forcing or being adamant about being on time and being punctual, you know, and being nice to people. And I watched how you treated people. Those things I did follow in your footsteps, because I take that with me in my industry now. Like, I believe in being punctual, being on time. If I can't make it on time, I do apologize to people. I communicate. I treat people kind. I, you know, try to go out my way to uphold some of those same core values, even though I didn't follow in your footsteps per se in the career. So what do you, since you say I put those pressures on myself to fulfill those, and it's not just me that put those pressures on me. I feel like people along the way would say stuff like, girl, you got some big shoes to fill, or, you know, your mama like this, you gotta take over the reins, or, you know, people would say things like that. So I think not only did I put them on myself, but other people aided in putting those pressures on me too.
I mean, people do that in general, you know, in society. You know, men have boys, sons, and, you know, the expectations are there to follow your father's footsteps, you know. Men become lawyers and have sons, they expect their sons become lawyers. You know, men become, you know, pro athletes, you know, they have a degree of expectations for their sons to become athletes. Or even if they don't put that on their sons, society does. So I think that it's unfair to the child for people to do that, but it's also looked at as a badge of honor for people to do that, you know, for kids to follow in the,
Tomato.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, to me, it's just important for kids to grow up happy, find themselves, find a passion in life, and pursue it.
I think it's a healthy balance too, and it depends on what you're following in, like what footsteps you're following in, because, like, it was that, I think he was the prosecutor that killed his wife and child. And
no, he wasn't a prosecutor. You talking about the Murdaugh case?
Yeah.
He was a well-known, prominent attorney. In that area, in that that
But
area.
his father had been one, his
Grandfather
grandfather
had been one, and his great grandfather had been one, and now his firstborn son was also an attorney. So he killed the second one, I guess, the black sheep of the family.
Yeah, but see, like, I think that they also, not only did he follow in his father's footsteps and grandfather's footsteps of being an attorney, I think that they had mentioned that there were other murders in that town that they thought or believed that they were reopening those cases because they thought either him or his fathers had or grandfathers had something to do with those. So
I heard that too.
yeah, so I think that no matter what you do, you're passing something down to your, whether it's a career or character or the good and the bad can be passed down.
Yeah, I agree. The good and the bad is often passed down. I mean, you should at some point try to pass down certain traits to your children. And unfortunately, all of them are not good. I can't say that as a parent, I did everything right. I did what I thought I should be doing. Like I said, there is no book that says parenting 101 and you do this at every step, and if it didn't work, you try this. And so we that's what parenting is. It's a trial and error. Not all parents are good parents, not all parents are bad parents. Not all parents get it. So there's no book for parenting. Some parents get it, some parents don't. Some are good parents, some are bad parents.
Let me ask you this: when you were bringing me into this world, did you necessarily think of things you wanted me to follow in your footsteps with, or things you knew you wanted to pass down?
Of course, I wanted to pass down all of my good traits, all of the things that I've been taught that I thought would do you good in life.
Like what?
Just survival traits, be kind, do the right things, never have morals, believe in God, believe in yourself, trust, be careful about who you hang around, and, understanding, some of the Ten Commandments, don't steal, don't kill, treat people how you want to be treated. So a lot of basic things that every parent, I think, wants to teach their children. And then the other things are teaching them as they grow. Each day brings on a different challenge. And so you never know what that lesson for the day is going to be. Mm-hmm. So as a parent, if you've got your child's best interests at heart, you're always going to try and teach your child to do the right thing.
Do you?
And sometimes you knuckleheads get it, and sometimes you don't.
So did you have anything you felt like you wanted me to follow in your footsteps in?
No, just other than just being a go-getter, someone who wasn't lazy, somebody who, wasn't afraid to, go after the stars. That's it.
I was so eager to like pursue entertainment because I felt like if I could make this, that shows that I'm just as good as you or just as determined as you, because you had people like to think that,
everything was handed to you
me
on a silver spoon, and
yeah,
it wasn't.
And it wasn't. But
Right.
It was like, this is the one way I know I can prove it because
I had no experience in it.
Yeah.
Didn't have a
No
clue about it. No
connections.
connecting. I get it.
So
I get
it was like, well, if I do this, what they gonna say now? Because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, you're smart, but your mama's smart, or she instilled that in you, or
Right.
or yeah, you were financially straight, but people think you spoon-fed me money my entire life,
No,
or
true.
you know what I mean, did things for me more than
No,
more.
I've made you take care of yourself since you come out of college.
Right.
Since you were, come out of college, you had
But
to.
people don't think that. They can't see. They have their own theories of that.
People gonna think what they want to think.
I know, but for me too, it was to prove that I could do it.
Yeah.
Can you really do something that your mama had no help?
Nothing to do with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I
get it.
appreciate you being a hater in the beginning.
I wasn't a hater.
You were a hater.
I wasn't a hater.
It's okay. I thank you.
Okay.
You know how all the rappers say I had that one teacher that told me I wasn't gonna be shit.
Well, I've never said that.
She told me I was a broke ass actress.
No,
I have proof.
Okay.
I have a witness. Ernestine was there. She called us both, me and Ernestine, broke ass actresses.
That's not what I.
It was a
necessarily-
joke.
It was a joke, but it was to say, I can make your life a little bit better, but you choose to not accept it. Okay, I get it. You know, it was a joke, but it wasn't anything that I, meant to keep you from, striving.
But this self-fulfillment, nobody and nothing can replace that.
I get it.
I'm like, I don't even know if I really have soaked in that moment of,
You haven't arrived yet.
no, I haven't arrived, but I'm still light years ahead of where I was. Mm-hmm. I am at a place where I'm on a talk show on Revolt that comes on television. Mm-hmm. I'm producing my own stuff now. I was in a movie. I remember begging for auditions for a speaking role. Now I'm getting auditions every week. Now I'm turning down speaking roles. Like, oh, this is not the lead, or this is not, So it's like, even though I'm not
where you want to
Taraji
be,
B. Henson or married, or Tracy Ellis Ross, I'm not there yet, but I'm still way further than waitressing at the Flame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nobody knowing me past Brii, Renee, and the Flame.
I get it.
And it was like so many people, the hood love is so real, and I appreciate that so much. And that actually has kept me going so many times, because it was times where after I left waitressing at the club and I wanted to go back because I wasn't making no money yet, or it was hard being it's like winging yourself off of a drug. Fast money is a drug.
I agree.
And it was hard to not make that cash every day. Sometimes I still get excited when I hear a money counter go, dee, dee. I be like, oh, who got it? Oh. Where is that? It be, so like, it's that, I had to wing myself off of that. But what kept me going was the streets and people in Atlanta and the hood saying like, no, you graduated out the Flame, or you really doing your thing, you pursuing your dreams, and look at you, leaving, and if you can make it, I heard dancers and waitresses say, if you can make it and your family in the back, then I know I can make it. You know what I mean? I don't have no excuse, because you would expect, people expect it, because y'all was in the back, that I was supposed to stay there forever. Why wouldn't you? It's a successful business. Why wouldn't you go into quote unquote the family business? Why wouldn't you go into the construction because it's already successful? Why wouldn't you just take the easy route? And I commend every child out there, every dreamer out there that is like, I'm gonna just take an alternative route because this is the way I want to pay for myself. This is what I want to do. And I had to live with the fact that it might not work. This shit might not work out, but at least I gave it a shot. And I felt confident because I knew, okay, the worst that can happen is it don't work out. The worst that can happen is I do got to go back and beg for a job. But at least I betted on myself. And the more I bet on myself, the more confidence it gave me to continue to bet on myself.
Absolutely. And that's all you can do.
It's like brick by brick.
That's it. And you got to bet, because guess what? If you don't bet on yourself, how do you expect the world to bet on you?
Yeah. And that's like how when I wiped out my savings and borrowed a little money to do the movie, Scheme Queens, I was like, well, if you're not willing to put up tens of thousands of dollars for you to star in the movie, why would Hollywood be willing to do that? Why would a network put up tens of thousands of dollars behind you if you can't do it? You know what I mean?
Right. Or not that if you can't, but if you're
not willing,
you don't believe in yourself enough. That's the same attitude I used to take when I used to run for office from time to time. Oftentimes people say, well, running for office, people are supposed to raise money to do this and raise money to do that. But I had kind of a different attitude. I was like, well, I had a hard time asking people to give me their money when I didn't give myself my own money, And I wouldn't do that oftentimes. And they would say, she's not going to do the call time. She's just going to fund. And I did. Oftentimes, I would just self-fund my own campaigns time and time and time again because I believed in myself. And there were people that did give, and I was thankful and grateful to those. But I had a hard time asking people to give.
Do you feel like that might have... I think that me personally, as your child, I kind of felt like that wasn't your calling. I think it was a passion project or something you wanted to do.
And I
desire,
agree that wasn't my calling.
I don't think that was your calling.
No,
but
because
that wasn't your calling, no matter what, sometimes no matter what your heart desires, God might not fulfill that desire because that's not the assignment he has for you.
Absolutely.
But do you think that if you had of not been so prideful and asked for help or fundraise, it might have helped with your success?
No. Because I think had that been what my calling was, the money wouldn't have never played a part. God would have made it happen if that was my calling. You see, nothing anybody could have done, said, given, or taken away would have had a bearing on me being successful there. So I've learned that lesson in life. What God has for you, it is for you. And they can come at you, they can take it away, they can try to take it away, they can throw stones, they can do whatever they try to do, but God, if it's for you, it's going to be for you, regardless of what it is.
I think that's true, even if you do try to follow in your parents' footsteps. Like, if it's not for you,
then it's not going to work.
It's not going to work the way it worked for them for decades or however long. That's not your assignment.
Absolutely.
So don't rely on that crutch. I think I would encourage every person out there to, before you even decide that that's what you want to do, pray on it and ask God to reveal to you what your true purpose, passion, or plan should be.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should pray about everything. Everything you desire, everything that you want to accomplish, everything that you're trying to deal with, everything that you think about, everything. I just think you pray about your entire life.
How do you pray?
How do you pray? I think people pray differently. You get into a quiet place and you talk to God. You talk to God as if you're talking to, you or a friend or anybody. And you simply go to him and you tell God what you're feeling, what your desires are, what your heart feels, what you're going through. You ask for guidance. You ask for patience. You ask for whatever it is you need.
But don't you feel like God tired of us coming to him with a wish list like he's Santa Claus?
No.
I don't think you should always just go in there asking God.
No.
God, I want this. And God,
No.
I did see these new shoes.
Nah, I think you have to understand that God is not a Santa Claus. God is.
That's what I'm saying. But you saying just go in the corner and ask for everything you want.
I think you pray for every aspect of your life. I do. I've always done that, and I will continue to do that. If I decide to buy a new car, I may have that desire, but I pray to God to give me the wisdom and discernment to know when to buy, when not to buy. Let me make the right decision. Not to just necessarily give me the new car. God, when I desire this, one day I'd like to have this. When the time is right, give me the means to do it. Let me know when that time is. God, I desire a lot of things in life. God, help me. If it's for me, then let your will be done. God, I need some direction. In my life, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. Help me to make it through whatever I'm going through. And the Bible says, and I believe it's in Mark 11, 23, 24, is that, whatever you pray for, whatever you ask for in your prayers, have faith and believe that those prayers are going to come true and you shall have it. So God, there's a roadmap, and a lot of people, I know all these folks out there says, folks always throwing the Bible, and that's the white man way of keeping you enslaved, blah, 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 blah. Well, hey, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I'm just simply saying what works for me, what have always worked for me. I believe in a higher power and a higher being. That belief in that higher power and higher being, because that's the way I was raised, has always led me and guided me. My faith has always gotten me through. So if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, but it's worked for me.
But you kind of, so you just said that if you go to God and you pray and you reveal your desires to him and you have faith that it will be, then it will. Mm-hmm. But that's not necessarily true, though.
Yes, it is true.
No, because you had a desire to be a politician.
I had a desire to be a
And you
politician.
prayed?
And I prayed for God's will to be done, not my will. My desire was to be a politician. And I was broken and cried plenty of times when I lost. But I also had to understand and be willing to accept his will. That was not his will. And my faith has also taught me that when his will is to be done, his will is far greater than my desires. So when he revealed to me that that wasn't what he wanted me to do, and he put me where he wanted me to be, trust me, it was a hell of a lot better than my desire.
Politicians don't make shit.
No, they don't. They don't. And guess what? And my ability, let me tell you something. Looking back, and that's always been the case, you don't understand until you sit and look back. I would probably, one of the position I ran for was judge. I would probably be on this bench, sleep through every other case, and next thing I know, they'd be writing, hitting the gavel and probably trying to bring me up on, judicial charges because.
You should do divorce court or be like Judge Joe Mathis.
Or I would probably have been one of those judges that they probably couldn't stand because, my demeanor and my temperament is just no nonsense.
You can still be a TV judge. What are the qualifications for that?
I don't know. But even at that, I'm just saying, I just have a certain way of thinking. And I also do believe in compassion now. Had I been a judge, I do believe in compassion. And I do believe in teaching, I think I would have tried to help steer people more so into programs that addressed systemic issues and address recidivism issues. And I think that's important because I think that our children are taught and learn certain things when they're very, very, very early, at very early ages, very early on in life. And I think that's important to know and understand because our children, the future of our children, are scientifically judged when they're in the third grade. Statistics are, they've got all kind of statistics of showing that, hey, by the time a kid in the third grade, if you haven't taught this, that, and other, and they don't have these certain things, that they're headed for prison. And that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. But that's the world in which we live in. So going back to what I said, I think that God put me where he wanted me to be, although I had a desire to do other things to help other people for other reasons. He put me in a position to help other people in a different way and to do certain things, and for that I'm grateful.
How do you handle God's redirection? Like in those instances, you ran for office and then he redirected you, and you didn't necessarily know where you might have been going next in those moments, or people who think they're supposed to follow in their family footsteps and they feel like God is redirecting them. How do you handle that season of uncertainty?
With grace and humility. You handle it with thanksgiving, and you thank God because I know that whatever he has for me in my life is far better than I could ever imagine. And so you embrace it, and you got to put on your big girl drawers and understand, or your big boy underwear to understand that if it doesn't work out your way, and then if you truly allowing God to lead and direct you, then you also got to be understanding enough to know that his will is far greater than your will. And whatever he has for you is far better than anything you could have imagined. So with that understanding,
just hold on.
Just hold on. Just hold on and let God do.
Hold on to your ass.
Just let God do his will.
Yeah.
And accept it. No one says it's going to be perfect and it's going to be easy, but just let God do his will.
His redirection sometimes is often rooted in protection.
Oh, absolutely.
It's rooted in, like you said, him having a greater plan than you could ever imagine.
Absolutely.
So
and far rewarding. Mm. You see, to me, had I become a judge, to me that was the best thing in cotton candy, the best thing I've ever for. It would have been far more money that I ever made on the job, on any single job. not including my side hustles, but just one single, and that was great.
Was that your greatest disappointment or letdown? Like not winning,
I don't even feel them as a letdown. I think.
I mean, in the moment you might have. Like,
and in that moment, sure, I was licking my wounds because I really felt that I was the better candidate in a couple of situations where I ran for office. I thought that I was a better candidate. But even those that came out and won, after me, those that beat me, turned out that they were not bad candidates. They turned out to be pretty decent, judges and and politicians. So I have no regrets. It just wasn't for me.
I agree. I have a similar story. So like working at the radio station, I was always on Saturdays and Sundays, and there were 2 time slots positions that came available a couple years ago, and they were for full-time slots. And when I knew they came available, I put in my letter to be considered. I put in, the reasoning why I just felt like I deserved this promotion. And I had a good standing relationship. I was always available when they needed me. I was like the most loyal and most, down employee that they had. And both times I was not chosen. Mm-hmm. And at first, like you said, I was sad or let down or disappointed because I felt like,
wow, you were the better candidate.
Yeah, I felt like I was the better candidate. And no jab to those other ladies, but I felt like I had been there longer and I had proven myself and I had worked harder. And I felt like, how dare you let somebody new come in and get my spot, right? But then it wasn't until maybe a year or 2 later, Revolt came around and the opportunity to be on Black Girl Stuff presented itself. And then I realized, had I had been given those opportunities to work Monday, it was no way I could do the Revolt position.
So, and that's why people have to understand that
it took a year and a half, maybe 2, for them for that new opportunity, for that yes to come, but that no made room for that yes.
Absolutely.
Sometimes your no's make room for your yeses, and those yeses, like you said, be way greater than those no's.
Absolutely. So for that, I have no regrets.
Yeah, I don't have any
I have
regrets.
no regrets because God has truly blessed me. And I can say even I probably didn't deserve it.
I probably didn't either.
And
I felt I did.
I felt I did, but I think what you have to understand and what we have to teach our children is you have to be obedient. You have to be obedient.
So how do you know when you're being obedient? When you're listening to God's voice versus your own voice?
I think you have to just go to him enough to know. I think when God talks to you, when God's voice rings through to you, you will know it because there will be signs like, oh, okay, God, now I see why this happened. Okay, God, now I hear you talking. Now I see why that happened. Okay, I got it. It wasn't for me to do this. Okay, now I see. And I think God always sends us those signs.
And my friend Megan, shout out to Megan Ashley, Know For Sure Pod. Megan said something, and I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because she was like, with God, you know his voice because he'll give you peace. But when something is not when something goes against, pause it.
Break. This is my nephew. Hey.
If something goes against.
I'm on set with Sabrina. You need me right now? Is everything good?
Oh.
I'll call you later. Bye.
We're filming.
Okay.
Yeah, what Megan
said that.
Yeah. So Megan, my friend, one of my good friends, Megan Ashley, shout out to Megan, Know For Sure Pod. She said something like, God's telling you to do that because you'll have peace in it. And I don't necessarily agree because in both of those instances, we were disappointed.
You were disappointed.
We didn't have peace.
No, you didn't have peace right then. But the peace later came when you understood, when he began to direct you, and he was leading you to different, and leading me to different situations and scenarios, it was peaceful. I was okay with doing that. Although I didn't know why I was doing it or quite understood it, but it was it wasn't a problem. It didn't take anything from me. It didn't cause me any stress, any pain to walk that walk. He prepared that walk for me.
Okay.
So that's where the peace comes in at. And then when you're in the midst of it, and hell could be, coming down around you, you're going to be protected. And you be at peace with it.
Yeah. I recently made a big major life decision and took another leap of faith. And like you said, I did it abruptly. And then I was like, wait, did I talk to God about this first? And I felt like, did I do things out of order? Because I did it so impulsively and so fast that I felt like I hadn't really checked in with God to make sure that was right. But I feel like he still, then I thought about it and I'm like, like he had planted it already, even though why you got to keep asking me what you already know?
Okay. And sometimes he talks to you like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes he pushes you to do things that ordinarily you wouldn't do.
Yeah, just impulsively. And just,
you think it's impulsively, but it was already in his divine order.
And it's crazy because the people that were affected by the decision were like, oh yeah, I seen this coming. And I'm like, how did you see this coming? I just decided this 48 hours ago.
Right.
They were like, no, I saw it coming.
Yeah. So that wasn't your decision. It's just as God said move at this time, and you moved thinking that it was your decision.
And I thought it was so impulsively, but because, back to her point, I had peace even though it was something quick, fast, in a hurry. I have peace. Like, okay, well, I did it. I checked, like, is this weird that I feel this calm about it? With my counsel, because I feel like every leader, every queen or king has a council. And the people on your council might be for different things. I feel like, of course, you're on my council. Sometimes I run certain things by you. I have other women that are mentors that are on my council that I might run some things by. So I ran it by a few people on my council. And they was like, you ain't tripping. I was like, okay, bet. I knew I was making the right decision. Yeah, so be obedient.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes obedience is moving swiftly, but like she said, you might not even know
that it's already it's in divine order.
Yeah.
You think you're doing something, but it's in divine order. People, I think if we instill spirituality back in our children at a very young age, to let them know, teach them how to pray, show them that praying doesn't make them weak, show them that praying connects them to a higher being, show them that praying can be their confidant, their comfort, their peace, their inner peace. It will give them,
and that prayer should be a priority.
Yeah, and I think it will give them a different outlook and perspective on life. When you're troubled, get on your knees and ask God for the things that you want. Believe in your power of prayer. And we also have to teach our children, and a lot of people may agree, may disagree with me, but there's power in words.
For sure.
You don't, certain things you shouldn't say because of those things, and a lot of I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of backlash when in the comments. Oh, there you go, think of that, oh, power. But
fuck the backlash.
But there's gonna be power. There's power in what you say.
No, there
what
is.
you put out in the universe. So be careful.
Even to your point, like I remember every morning when we would wait for the school bus, we prayed together in the car. And even when you say power in the words, we weren't allowed to call each other stupid.
No.
That was like a curse word. I never understood why that was like. So
absolutely.
It was like nobody's stupid in this house. Don't call nobody.
Nobody's stupid in this house.
Yeah, don't call.
Just because you have a different idea, a different way of thinking, different, opinion, doesn't make anybody else wrong or right.
And you couldn't call nobody a liar.
Right.
Yeah.
And those were certain principles we had in our household. And as a parent, I'm glad we had those. Because now what it did was allow you to value other people's opinion. You don't walk around thinking you're superior. Only your thoughts matter.
Oh, I do value other people's opinion. Is that why I do that?
Yeah.
Because you told me nobody's stupid?
Right.
And I really be, I don't want to say I'm the only one that feels like that, but I even in the comments, like whether it's on blog or on my own page, when people are arguing back and forth, I be like, okay, that's your truth. And this is my truth. Like multiple truths can exist at the same time.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make,
Right. It doesn't
yours
make,
is not law,
and
and neither
right.
is mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That all came from you not allowing me to call nobody stupid.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is some stupid people out there, though. Don't just...
No, people make some stupid decisions, but there are no stupid people out there.
Yeah.
You know, people do things and people were not taught, unfortunately. But, you know, that's how people raise their children the way they raise them, and I raise mine the way that I raised mine. And I'm proud of the way that I raised my children. Yeah, part of it was a dictatorship, but I'm proud of that.
She's never going to let us
I'm never going to let you live that down. No, my grandchildren are never going to live that down. You know, and I've heard people in the backlash says, well, people that are dictators, you know, are trying to exude power. They're just power. They want that power because they didn't get the love. And they like, that's bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
I laid the law down in my house the way that I thought it should be laid down, and I'm proud of that fact.
Well.
And I raised some very beautiful, very bright, intelligent women as a result of that. And I'm raising grandchildren to be the same way. You know, I raised nephews. You know, the one that just called a moment ago. Very bright, very intelligent, a God-fearing man. You know, that's with his wife of almost 30 years and raising his kids. You know, his boy and his daughter. So I don't regret any of my teachings. No. And was my teaching perfect? Probably not. You know, was my teaching the only way? No. You know, are there other ways to do it? Yes. But I'm just saying what worked for me. And whether you like it or not, I don't give a damn.
Okay. Well, what worked for me was going against the grain.
Yeah, and what worked for me is whipping that ass when you went against the grain.
I'm not talking about that. She just want to remind us, like,
Okay.
get off of it. I'm talking about making my own path.
Okay,
Yes.
I got it. You're right.
That's what
You're
I'm
right.
saying. Anyways, it's time for the record. Do you have anything that you want to clear up for the record or set straight for the record?
Well, I just want to say straight for the record that, hey, I have no regrets in the way that...
we know you don't have no regrets in how you raised your child.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
You ain't cleared that record up. That record is broken.
Okay.
We're tired of hearing it.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
Get a new tune.
So for the record, I think that parents need to...
Whoop their children ass.
No,
Next.
not necessarily whoop their children ass. I think they should instill some spirituality in them. We're losing that. We've lost that. Our kids don't
Pray.
For the record, I think parents should really make it a point to pray with their children.
I think that's a good for the record.
Yeah, for the record, they should make it a point to pray with their children so that children see them praying, see that they believe in a higher spirit, whether it be, you know, Christianity or a religion, I should say, whether it be Christianity, Buddhism, you know, Muslims, whatever. Just let your children see you, you know, engage in a higher being, you know, and have some type of relationship, whatever that relationship
And it
might
shows
be.
that you as an adult are held accountable to a higher power. So it also instills in your child that there is something greater than all of us. And
Absolutely.
that no matter how old you get, you still have to be held accountable for your actions.
Absolutely.
For the record, what do I want to set straight? For the record, if you ain't know by now, I did this not by myself. I don't believe in nobody being self-made, but I made my own way.
You did.
And I'm proud of me.
And you continue to make your own way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you.
And she ain't had nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at me putting you on.
Thank you. Thank you for putting me on game.
I'm giving you a platform now.
Thank you.
Look at me passing it down.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now it is time for I Want to Know.
I want to know. I want to know, when's the first time you experimented with drugs and why? What was it and why?
Drugs.
Or should I say substance?
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, my first sip of liquor was with you.
When?
You used to let me taste your drink. Well, we
Okay.
would be like, I remember, I think I might have been like at Red Lobster and you ordered a drink and I was like, oh, mommy, let me taste. And then you gave me a sip and I was like, oh, that's nasty. And you was like, yep, so stop asking.
Okay.
It was something like that with alcohol. And I never really been a drinker. Also, I remember, I think I didn't like, because y'all had so many parties, I didn't like how, because y'all had so many parties, I didn't like how belligerent people got with drinking. And then I remember one time, Pete, well, my uncle on the other side, he was drunk and he bumped into me and wasted his entire beer on me. And I felt like I smelled like beer for like 3 weeks. Like, it just stank so bad. And I still don't like beer like that. Like, you can't really, in college I drank beer because it's college, but no, I don't. So like, I drink, but not, like, I'm a social drinker. I don't really, now, weed, I think I was 15 the first time I smoked a joint
15.
in your house.
See, had I known that, you wouldn't have made it to 16.
And I know exactly, now that I think about it, because I had to think for real, like, was that the first time? You're going to be livid. Do you want to know? Y'all went to Super Bowl. We lived on Snapfinger with Granny. Anyways, I snuck my first boyfriend in the house.
Oh, Lord.
And we was upstairs because, Granny room was in the basement and my room was on the top floor. And he brought weed and we rolled up the window. We had the window in my room up and we smoked. And I just got high and I just laughed all night.
And if I think I know who that was, I think I'd still kill him to this
Yeah,
day.
you would. That's him. And we just had so much fun. I smoked weed for the first time in your house. And didn't get caught.
Because I wasn't there.
Aren't you tingling inside?
No?
No, one time I did smoke while you was there. I was bold then.
Oh, my Lord.
But I had the window up still.
You smoked while I was there? Parents.
There's nothing you can do about it.
No, there's nothing I can do about it now, but parents, be forewarned, okay? When they're in their rooms, just walk by. That's one of the reasons why I don't regret ever taking the damn door off of your room.
She did take the door off the hinges at one point.
I don't regret doing that.
Like, it was off for like a year. Maybe till we moved.
I don't regret doing that. And I think doing that year was probably the only year you were on truly straight and narrow.
You don't know that?
Probably.
I didn't need that door to be straight and narrow. I was leaving out the other doors.
See? Now, you're going to get a lot of comments you're going to get a lot of comments. Oh, you bad mom, you let your child taste your drink at Red Lobster at dinner. Oh, they're going to call defects because, I let you taste my alcoholic drink. That's a horrible mom. And you know what I say to that?
It kept me from drinking.
To each his own.
I didn't really want to drink like that.
And by the way, I don't drink anymore.
No, you don't. I'm proud of you for that. You've been doing real good. Okay. Rockstar_China 1117 wants to know, how do you feel about dating and parents who hate the men or women that their child dates?
Oh, God. Rockstar, I've been through that, my dear. I've been through that. I think I've disliked the
first few of them.
few of them, for sure. But I also had to learn, as my mother taught me, was that I can't pick and choose her mates. I can only try and guide her to pick good, to do the best she can in picking. Some not so good. Some of the choices I thought was just horrible. But I had to let her make them, and she had to see in her own time that they were bad choices. Because with children, especially with girls, the more you say no, the more they're going to run to make it a yes. So the more I pushed back, the more she ran to him. I said, hey, that is the worst, such as, that's the horrible, that's this, that, and that. The more she ran to him. But when I pulled back and I took a back road to it, and it wasn't so glooming that I didn't like her choices, shit. Boy,
I didn't like them either.
She didn't like him either. She dumped him. So, parents, you just got to know what battles to pick, All of them are not, battles you go to war over. And that's just life. I mean, because I know that at the end of the day, there were boyfriends that I had that my mama probably couldn't stand. But they were my choices. There was nothing she could do about it. And she lived with it. And eventually, I saw what she saw. And they were no longer in my life. And eventually, she saw what I saw. And we got over it. We got through it.
I think it was important that you did say no first.
Yes.
And then
I don't think you never stop being a parent.
Yeah.
You never stop being a parent.
But it was the pullback and allowing me to make my own decisions where I was like, she's kind of right.
Yeah.
He is a loser.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beat it, loser.
Yeah. And it works. So now even when she's grown and on her own, and this is something that, I used to always say, that until you are, and this goes back to my way of thinking, until you're financially independent, I always got to say. So, and if you don't want me to say anything about anything, who you're dating, what you're doing, then you should not have to depend on me financially for anything. Because then you get to make your own decisions.
You still have an opinion, even though
I have an opinion, but my opinion, it's just that. It's an opinion. But if I'm footing the bill, my opinion is more than just an opinion. You're going to take heed to something.
I ain't stopped hearing this lady opinion yet.
My opinion now is that you can turn it on, you can turn it off. But if I'm footing the bill, my opinion then carries weight. If I'm not footing the bill, it's just an opinion. You're free to do whatever the hell you want to do. I've just shared my opinion as a parent.
Well, remember that.
I do remember that.
It's just an opinion.
It's just an opinion. And I can give
and
you
everybody
my
got one.
And everybody got an opinion, just like everybody got an asshole.
You know it.
You know it.
So.
It is what it is. Take it or leave it.
Sometimes I'm going to leave it.
Absolutely, and you got that right. But again, I say, if it requires me to foot the bill, so as long as you as a child are financially independent.
Okay, girl, we heard it.
Then you're free to do whatever the hell you want to do.
I'm free now. So
Absolutely.
I'm free to leave it.
Absolutely.
And this is where we're going to leave you, okay?
Absolutely.
This has been another episode of Mommy and Me Mondays, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully you learned something, grew a little bit. If you have any questions that you want us to answer and I want to know, drop them below. If you got any records you need us to set straight, drop them below and we'll do that as well. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a Mommy and Me Mondays. Oh, I want to know what you're going to give me for my birthday.
Oh, I can't tell you because it's a surprise. So parents, just remember, as long as you're footing the bill, your kids are not financially independent.
That ain't got nothing to do with my birthday.
You got to say so.
Cut the cameras. Bye.
Bye. But do you agree? As a parent,
We don't need nobody else.
if I gotta, until you are financially independent.
In regards to prayer, I don't feel like you have to pray only when it's a problem. I feel like
Oh no! I agree. You pray all. We didn't pray
prayed every day.
We prayed every day.
I
That's
pray
why-
before we go to sleep. I go there
Absolutely. My daughter prays with my kids every night before they go to bed. They pray with my grandkids when they wake up in the morning. You don't
I
ever.
sometimes let her lead prayer. You know, just
Right,
like,
absolutely. You don't pray just because there's a problem. You pray when there's no problem. Because a prayer can be just, like you say, gratitude, thanksgiving. God, thank you for allowing me to wake up this day, just to see this day. You know, because somebody went to bed last night and didn't wake up.
Right.
I was one of the fortunate ones. Just thank you, because when I woke up this morning, I still got my right mind. I got my eyes. I got my limbs. I can move. You know, whatever yesterday brought me, thank you, God, because I got a new day to try to get it right.
Right.
So, you know, prayer is something, it's many things, and it's powerful. So no, you
Some
don't,
people, they pray when
only when things are wrong.
Yep.
Nah.
Then when things are right, they forget all about prayer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That even sometimes I'm working.